Hello and good afternoon. Welcome back to the stream. I'm DogGodFrogLog. Hope everyone is having a fantastic time. We're just gonna hang out on this screen for a minute. I just want to talk to you, let you know what's up. So, first I'm gonna make a Twitter post. Alright, so we're live with Forgotten Artifacts. Live with Forgotten Artifacts. And WoW Classic. Plus all the top secret. Goodness, my friends. And what is my name? Who am I? Where am I? Twitch.tv/DogGodFrogLog. I gotta pick out a good GIF. The GIF. 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 Excited serious? What's that give us? Just a stupid baseball GIF for no reason. Like a baseball player slowly turning around. I like that picture of a dude just kissing. Oh, Invaders In. That's a good one. Hashtag crypto. Hashtag blockchain. Hashtag gaming. This is where that hashtag shit all came from. When you're just sitting there saying hashtag to yourself like 50 fucking times as you're posting shit. We got over that phase pretty quickly. Boomer is such a lame thing, but we always have lame things. MC Raid Deny, gaming, hashtag wow, hashtag Twitch. There we go. Welcome to the channel. Let me set up my phone here. Let me get chat up. Let's just get on the roll. My girlfriends. My girlfriend texted me, so maybe we got the food coming. Oh shit! I closed the manga I was reading. I was reading Hulk. And I just closed closed it, so I lost my place. Okay. I need to sub to somebody real quick.
Well, Twitch Prime, if you got it, use it. 5 emotes shared too. DogGod. Okay. DogGodFrogLog. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime. So what's going on? 5 emotes shared. Huh. What's your best drop today? DGFL. I didn't know there was a promotion to share. Christmas thing? Okay. I guess I should have probably got an email. Have you pulled anything above Epic? Some epics.
Just giving a sub here to Southern Star 71 real quick. I wanted to use that before we...
Yeah, I've picked up 2 epics last run. What did we get? Oh. Let me refresh that page. Got a Mountain Ash. Got 1 epic. And okay, and a Taintless Water Fur. I did get 2 epics last run. I'm having a difficult time deciding.
Okay.
I'm having a difficult time.
Give him that sub real quick. The Southern Star's a good dude. Give him that sub real quick. The Southern Star's a good dude. Okay, so now let's get Forgotten Artifacts up, and I think we're good to go. Really should get. I need to check work real quick. Make sure that they don't email me anything. Oh, and we got to set up the game itself to actually. Of course. There we go. Oh, sweet. More mandatory training. I love getting paid for mandatory training. Wednesday, December 11th at... I could probably make that. I might not be able to join the webinar. Then, Okay, right on. Another little half hour of training, and then tomorrow I'm really gonna kick into this new job. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, no whistling, no whistling, my bad. Okay, we're just waiting for this update to go through. Oh my good God. It is so loud. Hey, there we are on the leaderboard. That's us. We're Jack. We're number 7. Well, number 5, but we have 7 done. Shit, it's our game. There we go. There we go. Get that darn motion blur off. I don't know. I got motion blur off, but it still seems slightly blurred. Like, Yeah, that's the only thing that gets me about playing it. I like it a lot when it looks this sharp right here, but then as soon as I start moving, it gets... I can't focus on it because it gets just slightly blurry. Like here, it's sharp, and then I move, and it's slightly blurry again. It's very slight, but it's enough to see. It's enough to throw you off, and I can't be the PC. I'm not even my card is breathing. This is a stroll through the park. Hi, how do you like story nights? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's I played EOS Nights before, and this is much better than EOS Nights. It's the same people, so it makes sense that they would make a better one, because EOS Nights just hit the point where it was so unwieldy to play it, and it was such a large time sink for nothing because the entire economy was just destroyed. So I don't know what it's doing now. I don't know if they fixed it, but this is a much better approach. Less, you have to click more, but I just have some macros set up whenever I want to like loot all my items or synthesize a bunch, and with some loot all buttons and some buttons to synthesize all, it's a much more convenient game. It's very tedious in how much it wants you to click when you're actually playing it and trying to like min-max. I mean, you're tapping on the screen constantly, but you're not making choices. You're just simply reacting to item drops, and you have to react to so many item drops, and then your inventory space is so small. I would say that that's a real big downside to the game right now, is how much you'll play it without actually playing anything at all. But once you set up some macros and you get it kind of set up to play itself a little bit better, it's not as bad. Did pretty well on the auction house. Like the first day they did or the first couple days they did like $5,000 in sales on open seas, which is pretty fair. The EOS Knights did the same thing, and the progression system and everything looks pretty good on here, so looks like you'll get a couple good months of selling items. Alright, let's go pick up my ring, since it's just right here. Yeah, I mean, which is pretty standard. You force the storage and get them to buy upgrades and everything, but the problem it's the same problem I had with EOS Knights, is that I'm not actually. It's better than EOS Knights because the fighting's a bit better. But at the end of the day, this is all I'm doing, is I'm just clicking some materials, I'm combining them, and I'm hoping to, get like a 9% drop. So it's really, there's no skill involved. It's a very, very basic Skinner box. Now, even when they released dungeons in EOS Knights, there wasn't. You're kind of rewarded for being here more than for what you're doing, which, if I want to just sell some stuff to people, that's fine. But as far as like me saying, hey, this is a game, you should come enjoy the fuck out of it, I can't say that. I can't say that you're gonna like. You're not gonna pull up Night's Story and be like, holy shit, I'm having so much fun. So I think it's well constructed. I think it definitely meets the criteria for a game. But I mean, honestly, if we're just a bunch of fucking school kids sitting in the fucking classroom, we're tearing this shit apart. Like, it won't meet our. It's not Halo. We're not playing it. And I have seen how they've done the systems before, and they've put in like some upgrades and some weapon systems and stuff like that in Night Story, but they didn't really add in a fun element. It just like, okay, now you have this, and logically you should do this, and then logically you should do that. So as far as like an idle clicker game goes, yeah, I mean you pick your path, you set your things up, and you idly get there. But I just don't see. I don't get any endorphin hits from it. That's probably a good way to say it. I just don't get any endorphin hits from it at all. But I think players who haven't played as many loot games, I think players who like aren't burnt out on the entire loot cycle, and since crypto is mostly a lot of newer gamers, then it should do fine for keeping them engaged somewhat. And there's a lot of like Chinese players who play all that stuff on the EOS market. Which game is my favorite at the moment? I would have to say Skyweaver, actually. I would have to say Skyweaver. I did grab the wrong ring. That was my Bane of Immortals. Okay, we'll just wait till I heal up here for my egg. Which I can actually show a match of Skyweaver while we wait to heal. That's the cool thing about crypto games, is I can just play several. Forgotten Artifacts is good. Pretty solidly built. But I would have to say Skyweaver because it's the last one that I've wanted to play. It's the last one I binged on for a while. I played like a good 6 hours just to play the game. So oh wait, was my game not being captured a minute ago? Oops. Anyways, there we go. So I like this game a lot. It's probably the best TCG coming out. Where's my stupid... There we go. So we'll do a quick... Yeah, I didn't really like Gods Unchained. It was a good moneymaker. I mean, I should have played a lot more of it when you were basically getting paid 25 cents a win with their other promotion, because I mean, like with my win rate at that game, just with the starter stuff, I was actually making like, I had a really decent cash per hour with the game, but I was kind of burnt out on chasing everything down at the time, and I was just like, fuck it. And I went, WoW, I think, had just launched, and so I got pretty distracted with that. Now I would do the grind, just because I've played through WoW, but I couldn't watch people level back up on WoW again. And oops, I forgot. I should have, he did the same thing. Should have used our stupid ability. Oh, we're bad players. Yeah, the tokens. That was really good. So if Gods Unchained does something like that again, oh yeah, I'll play the heck out of Gosh, this sucks. Yeah, the tokens were great. Pretty decent money there. But the gameplay is just kind of, you know. There we go. Clear his board out. It's a little rough, but now I have the mana advantage, and we'll see what I can do from here. But what I was really disappointed with is I think they changed it up a bit now, but I think something that always bummed me was it looks so much like Hearthstone, and then the game when it first launched, it was basically Hearthstone. It was crypto Hearthstone, straight up, no doubt, couldn't deny it. It was basically just lifted as Hearthstone, and now they've changed it up a lot. But for some reason, the artwork kind of looks dated. Like I'm not. I'll have to check and see what it looks like now. But at the time, it looked a bit dated for some reason. I used the -1/-1 to pull the frozen off of him. But it looked really dated. The gameplay was super simple. Like if you played Hearthstone and everything, you pretty much just hopped in there and you knew all of it. I didn't like the UI elements. I thought that the things that they did change, they didn't change for a good reason. They weren't like, hey, this... It wasn't like, hey, we should design this element like this because it's going to be more intuitive for players, etc., etc. Like Skyweaver, everything about Skyweaver when you're playing Skyweaver, it feels really good. The artwork looks really good. The symbols on all of the cards, it makes perfect sense. Like you're like, are they shielded? It kind of looks like they're shielded. Like when you have lead and it radiates, it looks like it's protecting your character. Like they have a lot of little things like that 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 I really like. And when you go to Gods Unchained, I was just looking at what I was gonna freaking play here. Should have put Frozen on that before. But that's what I like a lot about Skyweaver is the UI and the game design is very strong. The artwork fits in a lot with the theme and everything, and the background. This entire board, this does not look like Hearthstone. This does not look like Magic the Gathering Arena. This, if anything, this looks like Dofus Arena or something like that. But it looks like more of the French TCG player, like French TCGs that I see. So I'm wondering, I don't know much about the devs, but I'm wondering if they're like European. But Sorry, I stopped talking when I'm trying to think out my turn really quick. But it's really cohesive. It has good funding now. They got that huge seed grant, and the community's good. Community's strong, and the cards are fun and engaging. It's not. They didn't just take they didn't take like the taunt mechanic from Magic the Gathering and just change it to lure or something like that, which is something I feel like Gods Unchained is very lazy. They basically just looked at other card games and kind of just yanked what mechanics they use and then just like changed the word. So you know how to play Gods Unchained immediately, but it's not because Gods Unchained is intuitive. It's because Gods Unchained has just taken a lot of the best elements of other games and they've kind of just tossed them together in like a feeding trough. That's how it's very lazy. And they might not be lazy. They might be working very hard, but the overall implementation makes me feel like it's very lazy. Whereas I feel that Skyweaver is very good. Let's minimize this. Go back here because we're full health now. Which are rare cards in Skyweaver. So right now it's in closed beta. So everything will be wiped in open beta, but the top 1,000 players on the leaderboard for the closed beta will get some free cards. And then there's silver cards or something like that. I forget. But when the actual game comes out, there'll be like value in collecting the cards and stuff. Right now it's pretty much just beta testing, but there's also some prizes to be won. I think the weekly leaderboards right now are giving out silver cards, but I don't think that you get to keep those. I think those are just for the beta as well. He said, I was talking to Marcelo, one of the devs for the game, and he said that they're going to have some stuff coming out soon for the leaderboard, some info that'll help us make sense of it. Oops. I mean, we do need more of these. So, it'll pretty much just be... Skyweaver will be pretty good. It looks like it has a decent collection rate. I mean, you'll get cards pretty fairly just for ranking up, winning a couple matches. Honestly, Skyweaver looks like the best TCG that we'll be putting out for a while. Hands down. It is its own game. That's all I can say. It is. Gods Unchained isn't trying to be its own game. It's trying to be better than a lot of other games. Like, it's just, it doesn't really have a goal. It's confused. And honestly, I mean, God, this is my fucking jam. Talking about trading card games, like, this is my jam, man. I ran a fucking business off the back of trading card games. So I would say, if we're just, like, looking, I'm gonna have a fucking smoke here. But if we're just looking at, like, let's fuck everything else. Fuck the fact that it's crypto and everything else. Let's just put Gods Unchained inside my fucking store, right? 1 second. Let's say if it's in my store, let's say it's in all the stores in the surrounding area, right? So it's popular enough for like a whole state full of fucking college kiddos to play it, right? Oh my god, god, you guys hurt. Now, we have 20,000 players playing this card game. That's it. We got 20,000 players playing this card game. What the fuck do these crypto guys think's gonna happen? Do they think that 20,000 players are gonna come to this game, see that there's like one or two decks that dominate with like a +5 to +25% win rate or whatever? Because I mean the cards are unique. There's all these legendaries. I'm sure there's some absolutely bitchin' 90% win rate decks. These guys are gonna come into your new game, be told that they need to spend a lot of money to catch up. You know, just getting the packs, trading for what they need. Maybe there's like certain set cards that, you know, have just inherently better stats than what they have, and blah blah blah. And then they go to look at prices of the cards, and they're, you know, $1,000, $2,000, like $500. Those cards are like, that's not going to support a large trading card environment. It's the exact opposite. It's just gonna fucking crash those prices. I don't see any way those prices fucking crash. Like Magic the Gathering, you have Black Lotus and things that stay at a really high value because you have millions of fucking players, right? But the legacy tournaments, man, I can count to you like on my hand how many times a year I have a legacy player coming in looking to fucking drop, you know, cheese to fucking really like get into his deck. I mean, it's very infrequent. You're talking thousands of dollars. But I have 60, 70 people show up for a Friday Night Magic to drop $25 down and play like random cards. So I think that's where we're going to see I don't see Gods Unchained having a lot of growth because it's just not that accessible. It's a very elitist, tiny card game. And every time you have one of these like super high collector, like look at all this value bullshit going on, the game just burns. The game just burns. It's built on the back of its players, and things like card games and stuff, when it's just, when the playing field is completely unfair, they just go play something else. Like what's cheaper at this point? Playing Gods Unchained or playing Magic the Gathering? I mean, if you're gonna drop like 10 Ethereum on one card on Magic the Gathering, you have a full legacy deck or whatever, and fucking, well, maybe not full, but you have a really good deck or several decks. You have enough money there to play professionally in all of your local tourneys and everything in Magic the Gathering. Like, you set aside a $2,000 budget for like Magic the Gathering, you have shit to do. You set aside $2,000 for Gods Unchained, you have one card that may or may not be good in the meta. Super limited. It's all the bad things. It's all the bad things about TCG. So let me go see if I can find one more item. I mean, they spent a lot like marketing and everything. I saw them do a bunch of promos and everything, and I don't know if that's really translated to a big fat player base. But I haven't, like I said, I haven't had an incentive or reason to play Gods Unchained, and the gameplay itself doesn't draw me over there. But here I am playing Forgotten Artifacts for bullshit items. Played Cryptolegends, another TCG. Played Skyweaver. I'm not even getting prizes from that yet. So I trust my gut when it comes to these things. Now, I definitely did think, all that aside, like if someone's like, well, I made a ton of money. Yeah, oh yeah. I definitely believe that, like, you can pretty much flip any fucking crypto game, and especially one that comes in there with a bit of budget. But if I had to compare Skyweaver to or not Skyweaver, if I had to compare Gods Unchained to a game, it's not the next Magic the Gathering. It's like the next Artifacts. If you saw that on Steam, Artifacts was a brand new game that came out. It had some pretty unique gameplay methods. It was really hyped up. You could make on the day it launched, just being a good player and cracking open packs and stuff, you're making like $100. Like, it was pretty fucking nutty. And now all of the cards together maybe sell for like $5. I'm not even sure. Maybe the best card in the game, maybe Axe is still some money, or maybe they put out a new expansion. That's kind of how I feel like Gods Unchained will be. But it won't suffer from like the mass dilution of the cards and then just people quitting. Because, you know, it'll just suffer from its poor gameplay and lack of players. And then with its poor gameplay and lack of players, there'll be a lack of demand to keep those incredibly high card prices. And then people will also be farming them and getting their extras and everything else. And I think that's where we'll see a lot of that crumble. But I could be wrong. I mean, maybe people will love Gods Unchained. I just don't see how when you have all the other choices. I think casual players, I think with the amount of friction in Gods Unchained, I think casual players are much more likely to just go play something like Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering or something like that, especially because it sets itself up in such a way to be compared to them. Skyweaver, I don't find myself making the comparisons as much because I'm like equipping items. I'm doing mechanics that I normally find more in tabletop games than card games, which is a nice touch. But Gods Unchained just forces that comparison. And then when you're like, gosh, you know, like, is there another trade? I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm pretty harsh on a lot of these games, though. I'm very harsh on them. I'd rather be harsh than be wrong. I mean, I've made a really good profit on my gaming choices, so I'm doing something right. But you can always be wrong. All it takes is that element of fun. All it takes is a couple people having a really good fucking time, and then some other people seeing that, and then they're having a really good fucking time as well. That's it. That's the secret to video games. It's not really, is it a good game or blah, blah, blah. It's just, are people having fun with it? And then do other people see that and want that? We get one streamer with 20,000 people who's just laughing at 30 minutes for something in one of these games. We got 5,000 new players, at least for a day. And then what's the hook? Then you have to, you know, the retention, the gameplay values, all that stuff. But we'll see if somebody's... I'm a very reserved fellow, so I don't laugh so often. So when I find myself enjoying something, I'm like this bitter 80-year-old man who's just gamed way too long. I've been through like gaming Vietnam. I see a mechanic for half a second. I'm like, well, actually, this would be better like this. True enjoyment comes from the suffering of the player, and the player just doesn't suffer enough here. No. That's how I am. I'm rather... I like to stick my pinky out when I hold my controller. But fuck, it's how you should be, you know? You really shouldn't, wait, am I just carrying rust barley grains like every time I come in here? Did my item get swapped out with rust barley grains and like the item UID? That's why I only took 2 last time when I thought I had 3. Okay. Because that was supposed to be my... That's supposed to be my healing ring. I'll have to check. Hopefully it didn't like disappear. I'll check my inventory after this. That explains so much. And the cool thing about gaming too is it's not like, you know, oh, here's a TCG, there can't be anymore. there's such a potential for gaming. I mean, it's so generous with its player bases that it's not like there isn't room for another TCG. It's not like there aren't room for all of these games, but they gotta be good. I think a lot of the companies that are failing nowadays, I'm gonna have another smoke. They have these formulas, they look at games, but you gotta really think about like how your consumers are coming to you. Same way if I'm opening up a business somewhere, I don't just like randomly pick a spot on the map. Like I look to see where the foot traffic is at. I look to see what people are looking to do. Are they driving? Sure, a lot of people are driving past here, but do they even want to stop their car here? Like if I put a fucking taco stand on the side of the interstate, you think anyone's gonna slow down and fucking grab a taco? They see me for 2 seconds, hit the brakes? No. Same fucking way. Some of these games are just taco stands in the interstate, and you're like, oh, that looks nice, never gonna be there. And you just drive right on past, man. I ain't eating that taco. Yeah, I mean, they do have a big tournament, but I find that stuff to be kind of insular. I mean, the tournament will draw some attention, but will it draw players? Like, will players look at Gods Unchained and be like, I need to play that? It seems more like the tournament's kind of like you should want to play it for the money. But which I mean is fair. Like, that's cool to have a big tourney. But like, is that... Would I know about the $1 million tourney if I was in crypto? If I wasn't in crypto? I don't believe so. I mean, like... do any of my friends in the gaming community talk about Gods Unchained or mention it in any way whatsoever? No. Ooh, epic barley grains. Nice. So we'll see. I mean, what happens. We'll see what happens. I don't even have any cards. I mean, if I can like free to play it, then I will, but I won't make it that far. So I mean, I'll have to check. If Gods Unchained has some sort of card grinding system that I can go take advantage of to like build myself a deck. Then I will. Oh, it's okay. But I'll probably complain a bunch about it while I do. I'll feel like I'm working for a bad boss who's just like, what do you mean it's broken? Here's $20, fix it. And with that, like never understanding the issue and just kind of like blindly putting things together. So we'll see. Because like instead of $1 million tournament, okay, I might check it out then and grind some cards, especially if I can in some way get rarer or like, you know, if I can have a comparable deck, then yeah, whatever. But I don't. I'm just really harsh on Gods Unchained. I'm really harsh on him. I hate to see games that kind of mislead their players, and with the way things are going right now and the whole setup and the hype and everything, it just feels like there's a lot of deception going on about like the actual value of Gods Unchained cards. And I don't know. We'll see. I'm not big on the market. I'll have to take a look before I really put my foot in my mouth or something. But let's just say right now, I would say it seems like it's standard pricing if you play Magic the Gathering. You know, the new sets just come out, and so everyone's really hyped up and excited. And I think they're paying anywhere from a little bit too much to way too much for some of the cards. But I started playing like World of Warcraft Classic after playing a couple other MMORPGs and everything. Like I started playing MMORPGs when I was like 9. And after playing WoW, I was like, okay, I have one goal. I want to have a good time. I want to game for free, and ideally, I want to make money. Which has pretty much shifted to just I'm gonna make money gaming all the time now, thanks to 2020. But that's kind of what led me on my journey of playing a bunch of weird games and selling game items, and was my history with my dad's store and everything. So he had a store when he was growing up, and then I ran one later. But we'll see. What I would rather see instead of a $1 million, like, hey, look, some really good player is gonna win some money. Like, I'd rather see like $1 million in incentives. I'd rather see like a $1 million push to get people into the game. And I can't believe that, you know, oh, this is it, because it's just a giant tourney. Like, that's, tourneys are pretty insular. A lot of people won't even play because of time constraints and stuff like that. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe it'll draw some eyes. I mean, maybe their plan is just get some big names in from Twitch, have some people playing the game, and then it'll just take off from there. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it looking good enough to do that. Fuck, man. I like, everyone who I've shown Gods Unchained to has like not been impressed. They've just not been impressed. But I've had several positive comments about Skyweaver. Like I test some things out. If my girlfriend thinks something's cute, she's such a stiff fucking stick in the mud when it comes to like gaming and stuff. When she stops and she's like, that's a cute game, I want to play it, yo, I'm in. That's what happened with Axes. She stopped when she walked by the computer and she's like, what are those? Those are cute. And I went in 3 times as harder on Axie, and it paid off, dude. That game was profit. I've had 0 indicators from all of my people on fucking Gods Unchained. Like, it hasn't sucked anybody in. So I just don't know. I'll try to leave it alone now for Gods Unchained. I've dragged that horse out into the field, but is there a chest up here? chest. I need a chest. I don't see any. Okay, let's just leave. I panned the camera around so I could check all those rooms. Now, Forgotten Artifacts, I don't know if this will be a successful game, but I do know that it will perform better versus other crypto games at the moment. Because if you look at what you have available to play right now, then Forgotten Artifacts becomes a very easy choice. I mean, you're stuck with things like blockchain cuties or axes, which doesn't even have... it's at like you're stuck without clients or you're stuck in beta tests and everything. And this has quests in the game, has a couple different questing areas, a practice zone, and a city hub. You already have a bunch of items. The market's actually good, and it's been consistent for the last 3 months with a steady price of like $500 to $600 for top drops. So you can play nonstop for a week and have a chance at just making $500 or $600. It has a really nice passive incentive for new players, you know, and if they don't care about it's a good. You either make a lot of money for that item at a very, very rare chance of getting it, or you just get a really good item. So both players are happy going for the same goal. You have your cash players, you have your competitive players. Everyone's moving in the same direction right now with Forgotten Artifacts. So Cliff has so far struck a very good balance. The only thing I would say is Forgotten Artifacts it's not bad, but it's not a ton of fun yet. I mean, the enemies are basically just melee attackers. But before I was really bored playing the earlier versions and doing the Stampede contest and stuff like that, but I played a ton. This feels a lot better because with all of these enemies on screen, at least I can die. In every encounter, so that does it's getting a lot closer to being like tense or hardcore runs on Diablo or something. Like, there are definitely some good gameplay loops that he will be able to add here, and I'm curious to see exactly what he's going to put in. But so far so good. Ooh, I definitely need that. It's for one of my quests. So see which... That's good. That was what was missing from the earlier games when people were just running through and dropping everything and taking out their epics, was there was no value in the low tier items. So... yeah, the quests are live in Forgotten Artifacts. The only thing is that you can't turn them in yet because he's not shipping out the items quite yet. There was a bug that he's fixing, so everything's being queued. But you can already go ahead and get all of the quest items and, you know, start knocking out your quests. If you already have the items for them, you can turn them in. But you can basically go ahead and get prepped, and then as soon as the items ship, boom, you'll have like 3 to 5 quests done. And from what I was looking at on the quest, a couple things look good. Like, it looks like there's a 4-part quest where you'll do 3 quests to get 3 parts of this book, this epic book that you'll make, and then you'll put all of the books together to get this item where you can go fight this guy. So I don't know if it's going to be like in the dungeon you'll summon him, if it'll take you to a different area. But there's some good little gameplay hints in some of the quest items that are really nice. Hey, thanks for the respawn. Thanks for the respawn. Thanks for the follow, Respawn. Infinite Respawn. Thanks, mate. But yeah, I get exactly what you mean, because I was grinding at the start. I got bored. I had 2 transcendent weapons. I sold both of those. Sold some of my other items. But I mean, I got what was it? They sold for like 500 each, the Transcendents, and there's still like 20 in the game. See, like, you have to actually be careful a little bit now, because there's enough of them that I'm in trouble. But he'll have to tweak up the gameplay elements a little bit, because, like, when I'm in danger, what do? Well, I have this really strong egg that gives me 10,000 health, and I just stand here. And we went through all 4 floors, and I'm only at 56% of my eggs, so I don't need any of my other items. I could just come in here egg only, and just be fine. Now, before I leave, that's why I always stop for a minute and just talk to myself to make sure I don't forget to come pick up my item. Really need that potion. No, is mine? Yeah, mine's mythical. I'll show my items here because I needed to change my loadout. See, for some reason I had this sack of grain when I wanted the Arcor's Ring of Revenge. How do I just... There we go. So yeah, this is what I'm using. Zilborn Venom of the Fallen, which is a mythical 2-handed axe. I was using my Transcendent, but I mean, straight up, at that price point, it's hard to say with these new games, but at that price point, you know, bills to pay, stream to keep up, I was like, hey, I'm gonna take the 500 for the axe. I can play with this mythic. Hopefully I get another Transcendent to use. I got my Transcendent Goat. Like, hopefully I get another, but never feel bad. That's one thing. I see a lot of players hold on to a bunch of items and stuff for way too long and miss out. Like, look, if it's some money, if it'll make things easier, if it'll help you the fuck out, if you're not like, if you don't need that Transcendent to get 3 more Transcendents, then sell it, you know? Get some money for yourself. Take your wife out, pay some bills, maybe take a day off work, whatever you gotta do, dude. Don't hold on to items forever on the off chance that they'll be like $2,000 or $3,000 or something. Because odds are, if you just go at it hardcore and sell what you need to sell, do what you need to do to live stress-free, you'll come out a lot farther ahead. But don't be stupid and throw away all your good items and stuff either. You should have a reason. You should have a reason, and you should carefully think about your reason before you're buying and selling items. Like, if you're spending money in Night Story, you better have worked out what the market looks like and what your return's gonna be. Like, I was very careful when I was playing EOS Knights because that game has a really bad market system in that the first players to get there get the items, they get geared up, and those items are incredibly valuable because they're the only ones who have them. You really need them for progression, and you know, there's very few for sale. But as soon as more people, like every single time one more person gears up, the value of those items drops. So that's what happens in Night Story. Every time somebody gears up, the items become less expensive. Because if they're geared, they can farm the exact same drops at the same passive rate, and they can sell them for the same prices. So you have to be careful. Like, if you drop like $1,000, like maxing out all your characters in Night Story, you better be sure that there's somebody behind you ready to spend $1,500. And normally it comes out to 2 people behind you ready to spend $1,500. Or like 2 people ready to spend $750, really, so that you get $1,500. everyone else is doing the same thing. You got a lot of competition in this stuff. Like if you sold your Axie lands, for example, on the very first day, I mean, just any crypto game. Point at any crypto game, look at that first week period of item sales and everything, and you're gonna see 200 to 400% fucking higher prices at least. So just be careful. If you think it's long term, then a lot of times you can wait on certain items and pick them up, like engine MFTs. They were pretty expensive when they first came out. The War of Crypto. God, I haven't checked that out in forever. Is that game even still going? War of Crypto? I completely forgot about it. I have gourds or whatever. I just see a bunch of stickers. Okay, whatever. But that game, when it first came out, like everything was super fucking overpriced, and then by the end of it, you could buy epics for the cost of like 2. So if you just time everything right, if you know like the market cycles for these different types of items, and then keep in mind that they're all highly manipulated at the cost of like $200 sometimes. It's a fun place, man. It's so much fun. I love hanging out with you guys while we do crypto, because it's like we're all our little own shopkeeps. Out here just peddling junk. Just the worst. It's like a big digital fucking flea market, man. When I was a kid, every Saturday, sometimes Friday morning too, my dad would get us up at like 5 fucking a.m. or something stupid, and we would drive all the way over to Kentucky, where he would have there'd be this big flea market, and he would rent a table outside, and during the week he would drive around, he'd pick up and buy and sell comic books and collectibles and video games and everything, and then on the weekend we would go out to the flea market, and I'd just be underneath the table, sitting there in the gravel, playing my Game Boy, or reading comics or something, while we spent like the entire day there just talking to people and buying and selling games and stuff like that. And I met nobody with all of their teeth. Nobody with all of their teeth, and it was the best time of my life. It was really good. I love flea market food. I love just running up to the different stalls, because then you'd find other prisoners of war, these other little orphan kids abandoned by their parents to the whims of the fucking flea market stalls, and we would roam around in little packs and see each other on the regular and go hang out at like Eric's dad's store or something, and play games in the back room and shit. And it was pretty cool. So that's what this reminds me of. It's like we're all just playing a bunch of shitty games at this digital flea market. Everyone walks up, hey, what's this? Oh, dude, you gotta get this colander. It's like, and then just a 5-minute long speech from this dude with like 3 teeth about why his colander's really good for you. And that's exactly how I feel like crypto is right now. Just nobody has any teeth, and we're all shoving fucking like, well, you gotta get this empty, what is this, empty elixir bottle from me, man. Think about all the things you could put inside of it. It's just, how about $5 for this empty bottle, man? $5, that's a good price, dude. You don't know what you could make. You can make anything, man. You could have a drink, you could have some meth, you could have anything in this bottle, dude. It's just, it's fun times. I'll hop on here on crypto and somebody will be like, yo, do you have that tiny miscellaneous like piece of artwork painted by a child? I'll be like, yeah, I have that thing. And they'll be like, $300 please. I'm like, are you sure you don't want to just like buy like real like video game memorabilia, like limited edition collectibles or something, they're like, no. Give me that empty elixir bottle, please. Like, okay, dude, I'm gonna go buy Final Fantasy Tactics and like Suki Odin. Like, I'm gonna go get some legit like collection built. The only thing it's missing is the food, man. I gotta learn how to cook a bit better. Got one of those Instapots, got one of those Zojirushi rice cookers, which is amazing. Straight up amazing. The Zojirushi rice cooker, like, if you ever get a rice cooker, just buy a Japanese one. They're the only rice cookers. Everything Western is wrong. They're wrong. Just buy a Zojirushi. Got me even saying it right. It's like the best fucking rice machine I've ever fucking had in my life. Does all the things. Oh. There we go. Oh, there was one right there. I didn't even see it. Alright. Explorer 3. We could do it with the X from here though. Like, I feel like this should be more of a risk for me. Which is fine. I mean, it's completely in beta, but I just feel like getting the floor 3 and then being able to just go, I'll just use 8.5 thousand HP. I should be able to get through with that. 4 extra HP bars and a health pot. That'll do. It needs to be a little bit more of a risk. Maybe 5,000. But like he was saying, it's hard to balance the game for those of us who are extremely well geared and those of us who aren't well geared. But he can just tier it. Right now it seems incredibly generous to just let us take armfuls of legendaries in here. While it does feel really good, it does feel good. I like to have all of the stuff that I earned. So, but it must be a balancing nightmare to have these amazing one-of effects that some people will have 4 of, and then trying to bounce them around that. Okay, well, we got some choices there. I know I need 5 elixir bottles, but for some reason I value the elixir bottles less than the molten. I feel like for some reason elixir bottles are even worse than molten. I took a look at every quest, so I'm just gonna trust my gut at the moment and intuitively. If I'm like, I feel like this item's better than the other, then fuck it, that's it. Well, I don't have any buildings yet in Story Nights. I actually started a bit late because I was playing World of Warcraft Classic, and I saw everyone talking about it, and I was like, I don't wanna. But now I got it up, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I honestly don't think that I'm going to really make too much money off of it, because I'll probably get burnt out, but there's no reason to not have it going while I'm sitting here, so like I keep forgetting to restart it even. I've had to loosen up. As somebody who's hypercritical of like what I stock and sell in gaming, you know, like I've had to loosen up my standards a little bit. So that's basically why I'm playing it. I don't like the game. I don't think it's a good game. I don't think it's worth spending money on. Don't do it. But while I'm saying all of that, there's literally people like flooding past me to just spend their money on it. And I'm like, okay, well, definitely take their money. You know, if people want to spend money on it, sell it to them. If people want stuff, sell it. Just sell it. If people want stuff, sell it to them. Warn them. Put the disclaimer on this fucking cigarette packet. And sell it to them, dude. Fuck it. If they want to buy a pack of cigarettes and you sell cigarettes, like, let them know, hey, these things kind of hurt you. I really should have waited for more HP. Let's do that. Let's get Skyweaver up, and there's nothing here, right, to hit me? I'm gonna go stand in this corner just to make sure. Yeah, which they've done it a little bit better, because EOS Knights, like I was saying, the way the item inflation and everything works, it was basically just, it was way too easy to list things for their model. You basically just made it and dumped it right there on the spot. So this is passively getting them some money and acting as a sink for people who are trying to dump on the market. So that's good. They added some friction there, where before it was frictionless, and that's why the prices were just awful. But they're playing a losing game, you know. They're just, I mean, they'll do the same thing that they did with EOS Knights. They'll play this one out, you know. It'll be what, a fucking couple, like 6 months down the road or something, however long EOS Knights lasted, and then we'll, you know, if they come up with a better game or a better idea, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna try to fix this one? And no, they're just gonna make a new game. They'll just make a new game. Like, there's no reason to long term for this game to be anything other than for them to keep their company making some more money and just temporarily putting anything out. But somebody somewhere will get burnt when they go like $1,000 deep gearing up their characters, and the economy just doesn't match what they're putting into it. Dokkan Battle was one that I really liked. Just a straight up Android game. DBZ Dokkan Battle. Because I love DBZ. And basically, oh wow, he has some nice abilities there. But I did all of the world tourneys. I had several of the, I basically had a perfect account, the best super rares. Did all of the world tourneys, placed in the top, had all of the unique, you can only get them 1 week forever characters. And I had a perfect account, and I sold that one for like 600. I spent maybe like $50 on it. Maybe 50. I was really cheap. God, this one is, this is game right here. I can't keep up with. What am I supposed to do? If I could just burn that dude. He's gonna wither me. Well, nothing I can do about it. Yeah, just top gear. Just the absolute top gear is what I'm talking about. Because I generally, when I'm talking, I'm generally ignoring like all of the stuff that you can just casually get from playing, or like mid-tier gear that you get just from like running the farm for a couple days. I just assume that like us players have that, you know. Dude, I'm so dead. I got a Seal of Doom, but it basically kills me to use that. I have to wait several turns until he basically empties his entire hand on the board, and then I have to Seal of Doom him. And then I'm playing so far back, like 2 mana per turn, it's gonna be rough. See if we can bait him into emptying his hand, and then I might just seal it and go from there. If I can seal it with board advantage and hand advantage, then it should be okay. Do I just go down right here? I mean, I can kill this thing. I can kill that with just a melee. I really hate the Seal of Doom. I hate it. We'll do this. And I'll just take the advantage back with this. I'm pretty opinionated though when it comes to gaming. I think, you know, I think we should be opinionated. I don't think that being opinionated makes any of these games less good. I just think that we should have some pretty high standards when it comes to what we want to play, you know? Some of this shit that they toss at us is so lazy that it's kind of insulting. Oh, that worked really well. Well, now what? I don't have any banner. Yeah, I should have spiked it first and then... Okay, that gives me zomboids. That doesn't do me any good. Yeah. More or less, but not even just blockchain game. I mean, just gaming in general. Like, we really, we really suffer some garbage at times. Fuck. I can survive one turn, right? Or can I? That's the question. Do I go for like a huge play? Or do I go for the safe guard? I can't die if I guard. If I don't guard. But he only has 2 cards in his hand, so... I'm going to go with the Colossoid. We'll see if he has lethal. If he could kill me, good game. But if he can't kill me here, then I win. So I'll take that gamble. Ooh, that hurt. I'll be down to 1 HP. I'll probably die. Wait, what's his ability? Ooh, if I returned that to his hand, he would have killed me. Surely he has something that'll do 1 point of damage. That's all you need. 1 point of damage. Heirlooms right here onto the red dude and pop a burn spell. No, why would you pay for it? No, use. He doesn't know what this does. He could just play heirlooms right there and put a spell on both of those and then still have the chance to kill me this turn. Oh, that was a misplay. He might have killed me this turn if he played that correctly. Oh, I definitely don't need that. Oof, I gotta go one more turn. Can he kill me this time? He surely has everything that he needs to at least take a shot at it. I gambled down to my last HP. I was sure that I didn't need to play the guard. And so here we go. Can he do it? Can he get me? Heirlooms. Now he'll finally heirlooms. See if it gives him the burn spell too late. No burn spell. Good night. Good night. Gosh, I hate to see that math calculated right in front of you. Alright, let's wrap up this dungeon. Thanks to the power of patience, I can destroy you guys now. I mean, you can't speedrun with the egg, but it is super safe. Like, I'm not sure what the egg's value is, but if the Transcendents are selling for like 500, this egg must be like $100 if there's not that many. Because it's a dungeon crusher. Actually, let's just go park in here and let my little guy destroy some barrels. I think if I walk up here with him, and then if I walk like straight down here, he'll come with me. No. Oh, here we go. Got him. 150 to 200, 350. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say eggs one of the best. One of the best. What is 300? What are we at for engine right now? The price has changed so much. Check my phone here. 6 cents. So $18 for an egg. Okay. About 20-ish. 20. $20 for an egg. That's pretty fair. I think I sold an egg for more than that. I sold an egg for like 700, and I sold several items at top prices early on, and then I've held them for quite a while. A Transcendence I held. I didn't sell them at first, and then once they had like $500, I felt like that was a good price. The next price increase for, well, it's taking so long to find an opponent. Let's just go back to Forgotten Artifacts. I feel like the next price increase for Forgotten Artifacts will need like another big player boost. But it could happen. The fact that there are still Transcendents out there to be earned, that's what made me feel comfortable selling them. One of the things that I was worried about is that you would need a Transcendent to really just obliterate content. And I definitely needed a Transcendent for that one tournament that we did. Having a Transcendent in that made my clear times amazing. But now that we're on to this, I didn't need it at all. Like after that tournament ended, I was like, that's a good time. Because now I can swap back down to my farming gear and just farm again. If I get a Transcendent, I will hold it. If I get 2, I'll sell the extra. Unless my girlfriend wants to play, because she has a Forgotten Artifacts account. In which case, she'll use it. We both had a transcendent before. We were fucking kick-ass. Power couple, that's what you call us in this game. Power fucking leveling. I'll take that Ashenite later, though. Okay, there's nothing up there. I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah, Egg's a mythic, dude. Hands down. Egg's definitely a mythic. Woo, hoo, hoo. Ooh, daddy. The other item, if you're checking items right now, the ring of our core. It's like a black ring. It's what I start off with a lot of times as well. It has about 10,000. It has 10,000 HP drain as well. It hits things around you for 75 HP at a time. It's also really, really, really good. The drain effect will trigger as you kite things. So if you get low, you can run in a circle and recover your health faster than if you had the egg. That one might still be cheap if people are sleeping on it. I don't think there's a lot of strategy talk for Forgotten Artifacts on stream, so I think that a lot of the stuff might go unnoticed. For a bit anyways. Yeah, and Harvester, of course, is crazy, which everyone knows that. The damage ring is ridiculously good for speed runs, but it's broken right now, and you can't... Oops. We'll just wait a minute. But the damage ring is broken. You can't activate it multiple times. It's 750 damage a second for 6 seconds. So you used to be able just to turn on that ring and walk through 5 floors, basically. You just gathered up as many enemies as soon as they got in your way, turn on the ring, walk back through them, leave. Like, super, super useful ring. It shows 5 charges, but it only has 1 charge at the moment. It's bugged. Oh wait, what did my girlfriend say? Sent her perverted messages. Is this enough HP? I don't want to get bodied by these motherfuckers. There we go. Let me drop the egg. So I'm getting pretty close to finishing a couple quests. I think this is my 3rd or 4th elixir. I definitely have enough to finish some quests now. do it. Don't you get up there. You know better. People are gonna see me on the leaderboard with like 99 runs soon. I'm gonna show you guys what a grind is. Hey, not up there, buddy. Sorry, he's trying to get on top of the PC. Jeez, cat. I'm gonna run to the restroom really quick. Okay. Let's see what we can get here. I'd like to get a legendary. That'd be very nice. See, the ring is really good. What's this one? Ancient Tome. Alright, so we dropped the ring because it's one use only. So done with that. And let's just walk on to the next floor. Just thinking there. Zoned out for a bit. Listening to the soft, steady drum beat of me walking through the dungeon. Another empty elixir bottle. I guess I can come back for it if I need to. I'm not too worried. Now see, I always toss the harvester away before the Arcor's Ring of Revenge. Oh, because it's plus 100. I thought it was plus 75. Actually better. Just adds such a nice passive regen and damage effect. I really like it. could pretty much just stand here and tank these guys because I have it on. Well, I suppose we can leave the ring here and then we go all the way back to the beginning. Just grab that potion, right? That'll get us squared up and with what we need. That one as well. Why is my character's image like a JPEG? What's going on there? Ooh. Thirstier than a home-found pirate, river pine is a tree that is found within close proximity to water, thanks to their need to consume large amounts of water. Aside from the versatile use of its sap, the timber of river pines is supple and is a favored timber of choice for woodworkers. Out of my way. When curves are required for things like chests or doors. This also means that this timber is favored by bowyers thanks to... Bowyers thanks to river pine's ability to flex, which is a necessary attribute for a good bow. This wood will flex on you. I eat the damage. It feels so good. It's so tasty. I'm hurting. All right. All right. Let's be patient now. No? Yeah, I blocked it off. I blocked it off. You ain't getting up there anymore. Jumping up to the top of that. Don't you even think about it. Sorry, it's my cat. He wants to just jump on top of computers and everything. Oh, my girlfriend's calling in a moment. Hey, what's up, baby? Hey, what's going on?
Out of class.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry, I was on the phone for a while. Ooh, I didn't notice him there. Okay, let's just heal up. Most of the guys by the door are dead. We're okay. We're okay. We got another item up there, but I don't want to take it. Alright, so after this run, I am going to take a bit of a break. I'll probably still be like on and playing, but oh, there is a chest up there. We're going for it. Where is that room at? Over here? I don't really like the delay when I mouse over things. Okay, so there we go. We're back on top of the leaderboard again. Quite a few items. I definitely think that this game's going to be pretty neat. Add in a couple cities, and you're going to have yourself a neat little Diablo-esque game. Just not trying to be Diablo per se, so I feel like it'll be good. It'll be really good. So there we go. I will come back and we're going to pump that up to 99 because 11 is some rookie numbers. Yeah, I think it'll be really good, especially when we get some multiplayer. I'll have a lot of fun. Like, I've been looking for some multiplayer games, you know, something that'll be like decent to co-op around in. I really liked Gauntlet and, Wizards and Warriors, Might and Magic, all that kind of stuff. So I'm it could go either way. I've always been fairly optimistic about Cliff. I've always, everyone who's tuned into my stream has heard my opinions. Harsh on the game mechanics of everything that I play, but I really look at it from like, what are the devs doing? What are they tweaking? Where does their focus seem to be? And we went from just nothing to something here. Cliff really has a good focus. The only areas that Cliff ever seems to run into trouble with are like kind of like event setups, like prizes, stuff like that, like event structures. But for game dev, really good. He actually understands a lot of what makes a very basic game, so I like that a lot. A lot of the other devs, the very mechanics, like the base mechanics of their system, will have like a fundamental flaw. Like if this was another game with the Adventure Stone system, I feel like they would have just shoved that into your face so hard and forced you to buy Adventure Stone so quickly. But he's been very generous with the game mechanics, basically just time gating some things so he has some time to dev. And the quest system looks good. I feel like this will be a neat little hub. There's still some motion blur when I'm moving around that disorients me a little bit. I don't like that. It's like it's focused on my character but not on the environment, and I want the environment to stay sharp. So as soon as we start moving, the environment blurs. That's the only thing I don't like. If you fix that, I'd like it a lot. When I run around, that's the only thing that feels unsmooth with the movement. The delay on the new items, I find I want to instantly mouse over and see things. If I could hold shift or something and instantly see, that would be fine. But those are all tiny feedback, like tiny things that I feel like we can give feedback on that and fix it. As far as like game flaws, the game loop is really good. You come in, you run dungeons, you get items. Game loop's good. So my thoughts on the new patch after playing it for a bit, I like it. Splitting everything up into 3 different dungeons will start to give us some variety, will give us different reasons to go different areas and to farm different loot tables once we figure out those loot tables, or we actually put some variety between them. Different mechanics, different things to explore, different quest keepers, NPCs for each dungeon. All of that is very promising, adds a lot of depth to the game without adding any friction to the player's choices at all. You just straight up go out and find more stuff to discover. So that looks really good. The quest system. The quest system is okay at the moment. You can't really track quests or anything. If you end up spending a lot of like money on transfer fees and stuff, that would suck. If you're like paying a lot of gas. But right now it's kind of hard. I can't turn in too many quests. There's no use for any of the quest items yet, but it looks potentially pretty promising. There's no downsides to it other than they're more or less just fetch quests. You might get a bit bored of that. Fortunately, there's no escort quest, so that with lowering the settings. Okay, yeah, I'll try that. Right now I have it on Ultra, so maybe Ultra is just too much for it. Maybe it's like 4K when I'm standing still, and then the rest of the time it's 2K, so I'll try that. What else about the patch, so I can wrap up my review here? The city's good. The layout is like, I'd like a map. I don't like not knowing where I'm at, or not having like this statue not having a map on it or something. I would like a little bit more oomph to the city, but I'm sure that's coming. and there will have to be some fine tuning on the items. Right now, I feel like a fucking god with all of these items, but I haven't seen anyone playing with. I haven't like watched any streams of anyone playing with less stuff than me. So maybe if you only have like an epic and this egg, maybe it feels really fine tuned for the epic of the egg. Like maybe that's a really good challenging balance, and I'm just probably over geared. So I mean, I have a fucking mythical axe. I got damn near mythical gear, all legendary gear. I mean, if you're running in with a mythical axe and 4 things of legendary at the very start of a new patch without anything special, I feel like this is probably the right power. So if I would say a nerf, but the way Cliff devs, I think he'll do better. Because I mean, you don't really quite have to nerf it. You can just introduce some different bosses, some new mechanics that make things a little bit challenging. You can scale things a little bit weirder. So we might see some stuff like that. Some elements on enemies. It really just depends. Like I said, it's hard to say what needs to be done when you don't know the direction that the devs are going to go. Since we're really sitting here in open beta, and I should just say dev in this case. Since we're sitting here in the open beta, I mean, let's say that he wants to add elements to all of the weapons or something like that, and then add elemental themes to the dungeons. Not like that's a good idea, but just like really lazy. Like, here's a 2-second idea. Immediately, you can't just roll through that same dungeon with just one mythic. You know, like that immediately changes your weapon choices and makes you want to have more than one weapon. So, not sure what system he's going to go with to encourage you having a large inventory of weapons to choose from, of forcing you to itemize for different situations. I'm not sure where that's going to come into play yet, but it's very likely that with those mechanics added in, we will see less of a need to nerf these items. So sometimes you'll see games where they'll do both. They'll nerf and introduce new things that are better, that are strictly like counters to those items. So it'll be like a double whammy. So I think Cliff tends to err on the safe side, and he'll probably leave the items alone, introduce mechanics, and then balance down from there. So the next patch for the city should be a pretty good one. Probably not as much content overall, but will be very, very big quality of life improvements, I would say, because we'll see maybe like the item rack change, or weapons change, or dungeons change, or bosses change, or hidden quests, something like that. So looking good. Definitely Forgotten Artifacts, one of the best engine games out there, one of the best crypto games out there right now. A lot of promise and a lot of good stuff to grab out of the beta, so I highly recommend it. We will be coming back in a few hours to do our World of Warcraft Classic raid. We'll also we'll probably be working on like some Decentraland building while we do that. Maybe playing some card games while we're raiding. I'm not sure. Whatever we can smoothly squeak in there without losing any DPS. And that'll be that. I'm going to take a break, spend some time with my girlfriend, and grab something to eat, rest, and refresh. Appreciate everyone who tuned in today. As always, I love having you guys, and I'll be back this evening with some more content. So take care, and see you soon.